If you're new here, welcome. I am Alexis. I'm a full-time artist in Brooklyn, New York. And on this channel, I share my art and inspiration and life here in the city. It's a very authentic view into someone who is rebuilding their life after immense burnout, really daring to dream of what's possible when we are courageous. So if that sounds like something you're into, I invite you to stick around. Today, I am finally gonna get started on a piece that I have had in mind for a very long time. I think I have spent enough time thinking about it that it's time to actually take the action and to get it done. And I'm really looking forward to just kind of experimenting to see how it works and what I can get going. In The Artist's Way, Julia Cameron talks a lot about the necessity of play and enthusiasm in your art practice, and really inviting curiosity and joy into what it is that you do. And I had an idea for these skeletons for a while, and this year I made them disco. Because if we're being honest, your girl really loves some disco. But I really find so much joy in something as simple as a glitter skeleton. And so by all means, who am I to deny anyone else from finding joy in such a thing? And I just really can't wait to share these with everyone for the upcoming spooky season. And I know I've also mentioned in my Artist's Way videos that I have been really struggling to get my brain to slow down and to make an effective plan to actually put one foot in front of the other. As an artist and as an entrepreneur, there are 1,000 things on any given day that are vying for your attention. And you know, I still very much enjoy a cup or two of coffee, but I'm not much into the pot or two of coffee that I was doing in my teaching days. And you know, the morning pages that I have implemented through the Artist's Way have been a tremendous help. But that afternoon slump is real. If you've been here for any minute, you know that it's not uncommon for me to say at some point in the video that I've hit a bit of a wall and I need to go for a walk or I need to just take a break. And so, you know, I was very intrigued when Magic Mind reached out and offered to send me some of their product. And Magic Mind is a mental performance shot that is designed to improve mental clarity and reduce stress, both of which I could benefit from. And y'all, I've found this to be true. Over the past 7 days, I have incorporated Magic Mind into my daily routine, and I have found that my mental focus has been better, and that hamster wheel of thoughts and things to do has slowed. And it's given me the clarity that I need to really get the day going to create the life that I dream for myself. And that afternoon slump, she's gone. And if you would like to try it for yourself, you can get up to 48% off of your first subscription by going to magicmind.com/paper for the people and entering paper for the people 20 at checkout. I have put the link below in the description for your ease, and if you, like me, are just looking for something that will help you really make the most of each day, I would recommend giving this a try. I have been very pleasantly surprised. It has been a minute since I have created one of my community pieces, and I have really desired to get back to that collection. And so today we are just going to work on starting one of those pieces in a much larger format than I am used to creating in. I am not 100% sure how this is going to turn out, but I think one of the most important things that I have been really learning to implement over the last few months is to just give yourself permission to start. typically share too much of the stencil process here on YouTube, just because it's typically just me with a pencil sketching, but I thought it might be interesting to share just how much planning and forethought goes into creating a piece such as this. And I originally created this stencil, or attempted to begin this stencil, back in May, and I very quickly hit a wall and I set it aside. And then, I got distracted with painting an entire apartment. Perhaps many of you have seen that vlog, but I thought that it was time to get back to it. I was pretty daunted by the prospect of creating this stencil. One, because it's quite large. It's the largest stencil that I've ever attempted. And two, getting the dimensions and the proportions right has proven to be a bit of a challenge, but I really think that I spent enough time thinking about it that I had a solid plan going into it today, and I think it turned out all right in the end. Last night I had the absolute joy of supporting my dear friend Wallace. I've mentioned him previously in my Marsha P. Johnson vlog. He was in town at Books of Wonder, which is a bookstore here in the city, and he was talking about his newest book that he illustrated called Mouse and His Dog, which is part of the Dogtown series. And he spent some time talking about his process and his experience, and then he ended the evening by drawing a couple of mice for us, and it was just really lovely, and it was so good to see such a dear friend on such a momentous occasion. You'll have to let me know what you like best. If you like the real-time, slow and steady footage, or if you prefer it sped up. I can see the benefits of either. When it is like the real-time, slow and steady, you get to see perhaps a little bit more of how methodical and meditative this process can be. However, by me speeding it up, you really get to see much, much more of the process. And so I try to include a little bit of each in each of these vlogs. I know that I tend to include a bit more of the sped up footage just because I would like to share with you more of the process. But if you want it to be just 100% slow, real time, let me know and I can work to incorporate more of that. At this point, I'm really just experimenting with how I share the story of my creative process. And if you prefer one over the other, I'd like to make that happen for you. hardest part about these community scenes for me is finding the right colors. And that always just takes some trial and error. But yeah, it always just takes a minute to get the right colors. So I don't know. I'm hoping I can figure it out within the next little bit of time. But yeah. My community pieces are an absolute celebration of the power that exists in community and how important it is to find your community and to plug in and to create systems of mutual aid and support, and to be open to learning from experiences that might vary from your own. I am often asked why it is that I create in paper. And honestly, there are many, many answers that I give to this question. But I think that the one that keeps me coming back to paper, or really a true foundation of what it is that I do with Paper for the People, is that paper provides a way in. Paper is a seemingly very benign medium, and it is one that invites curiosity. And with the pieces that I create, I hope that it invites engagement into conversations that might otherwise prove to be a bit challenging. Because I truly believe that those are the conversations that we should be having so that we can learn how to navigate our differences and find a common ground, so that this future that we are so busy building is one that is built on solid foundations where each one of us can experience our fullest existence, one of peace and liberation and joy, and one in which every single person is celebrated for what they have to bring to the table. So when I first started creating, everything was like 8.5 by 11 because I was still learning how to use my knife and how to maneuver and all of those things. And then very quickly I realized I needed to go smaller just for storage and space restraints. And then, you know, I got some requests for some 8 by 10s, so I expanded back up to 8 by 10. And up until this point, typically every community scene, when I say typically, every community scene that I've made so far has been an 8 by 10, so it's this size. And I really love the smallness of this size. And I really love just like, I don't know, how sweet and small and cozy the 8x10 lends itself to feel, you know? And so that is what I have done. However, I have now been encouraged by a handful of people in my life to go bigger. And so I am going to attempt with this piece that I've been working on today. I'm going to attempt to do, I think it's like 19 by 24, but I have, and honestly, it's a little daunting because I'll have to find somewhere to keep it safe, but I have found that you can get larger shadow box frames for them, and I am a little both daunted and excited by the number of windows that this size will provide. And so I honestly feel like getting the stencil and this, and you know, I still need to add some bricks to it because I really like the texture of the bricks. I don't know if you can see it in this one. I like to add, you know, just different details. Hide my face. And I think it just really adds something. This was one of my first ones that I did that I spent a lot of time troubleshooting, and I really love it. But I am going to probably tomorrow add some details to the building and then figure out the sketch for the people and the life and the community that exists within this. But these pieces are, like everything that I do is a labor of love, but I really love creating specifically these community pieces because I believe that we are stronger together and that we are all connected and that community is the way forward. And so this will be a celebration of that belief and a celebration of my life here in New York City that I just am so grateful that I've been here almost 2 decades and it's still my life. Sometimes when I'm out for a walk with Mario, I stop and I'm like, yo, we live in New York City. And it feels like a dream still. I feel pretty good, good start. I wanna get this cleaned up. I think I'm gonna hop in the shower and then I'm gonna work on my Artist's Way week 12. I am almost done. I need to finish that reading. And then, you know, I think I just wanna read a little bit for myself after that is done. So I'm gonna get this cleaned up. I'm gonna hop in the shower and then we'll get the rest of the things done today and then we'll call it a day. But yeah, here we go. We have made it through everything on the to-do list, and it was about a 9-hour day, which is pretty typical. I want to thank you for joining me on a very realistic view into the life of a full-time artist here in New York City. I am going to spend the rest of my evening reading my book, which I am very much looking forward to. If you found value or enjoyment here, I would really appreciate it if you gave this video a thumbs up. That helps YouTube know that there's something happening here and they're more willing to share this video with others who might also find enjoyment. And if you would like to follow along as I rebuild after extreme burnout to create a life of art and joy and freedom, I would be truly honored if you subscribed. We have a very small but growing community here, and I am just so thrilled that each and every one of you are here. And lastly, I just want to say, whatever time of day you watched this, I hope it's been a kind one. Until next time.